Okay, welcome back to Subscribe. Now, I apologize if you can hear my air conditioning going on in the background, but the heat is on up in here and I can't turn down, so I have to just roll with it. May I first apologize if it just seemed like randomly? Like I kind of wrote some things out, but who knows how much of this I'm actually going to say. I didn't quite finish my thought here, but just to kind of get this out because I take a long time to record. So if you saw the thumbnail, the title, I'm not sure what I called it, but some form of idiot, most likely. Now, if you're not familiar with this character, he is from the anime. He's in the Dragon Ball series, and he first appeared in Dragon Ball Z in the last saga known as the Buu saga, and he also appears in GT. Now, just to get this out of the way, I'm going to refer to him mostly as Hercule. This is because, for the most part, that is how I've known him as I remember Dragon Ball Z growing up. Dubbed, of course, he was called Hercule. All the video games that I played refer to him as Hercule, maybe except for one. I do know canon-wise his name is Mr. Satan, but for religious beliefs held by us in the West, it was changed to Hercule for us. So in my head, I don't know if this is a canon thing, probably not. In my head, his first name's Hercule, and his last name is Satan. So Hercule Satan. So I just know I get it. So if I'm calling Hercule and you know him more as Mr. Satan, just know I'm aware of that as well. Just for continuity reasons, let me just kind of get that out there. Now, as one of my favorite things to do to waste time, I like to watch people's reactions. And currently watching someone react to, now this was a while ago, they were reacting to toward the end of Dragon Ball Z, where Goku is gathering energy from the spirit ball. Now, you don't know his anime, just understand that he needs all this energy from all of Earth's inhabitants in order to defeat this evil enemy. And because he has friends with great abilities, he's able to communicate them by basically telepathy through the whole population to ask for this. Now, all they have to do from their end is to raise their hands, and a portion of their life energy is transported to this spirit ball attack that he's going to use against the antagonist named, well, Majin Buu, but in my head it's Kid Buu. Originally, it was Vegeta Axie for such. And some gave energy, not a lot. And Goku started asking for energy. And then everybody who knew Goku personally gave energy, but the majority of the Earth's population chose not to give it and chose to walk about their daily lives. It's not until Hercule Satan comes in and interjects and asks on his behalf that they give energy to him that they comply. Now, I've kind of gone back and forth with this character. He appears in the saga before that, which was the Cell Saga, or Android or / Cell Saga. And who he was basically was what appeared to be just a comic relief guy. Somebody who even might just get straight up killed off. He talked a big game and could not back that up. Now, from a human standpoint, if he's just fighting normal humans, he's a great martial artist. In fact, he's the world martial artist, which is how he got his fame. When Cell comes in, who's, again, I'm not going to go through it all, super powerful android who was the strongest being on the planet at that moment, and maybe even the universe at that time. Between him and Bojack, who knows? But basically, Cell basically put out a challenge to the world for the Cell Games, which is basically like a world martial arts tournament. Only difference is everybody against him. And why he did that, when the only fighters who could stand up to him were the Z fighters, who he mostly beat already. In any case, Hercule publicly says that he's going to defeat them, he's going to destroy them. Day of the tournament comes up, and for some reason, Cell decides to entertain him by letting him go on and on about how he's going to destroy him. It's not a fight. Hercule punches a lot of punches. They do absolutely nothing, and literally it was a smack with his hand, and he was out. Flash forward episodes, about a dozen or so, and Gohan is the one that defeats him, but no one saw that, and Hercule took credit. So we start off with the Buu saga with people thinking that Hercule saved the world. So that already kind of made me look at him, like, really? And it's proven time and time again that when he comes across, actual these heavy planet fighters, that he doesn't stand a chance, but he puts on the front that he can. So he has a whole thing about pride. So the world thinks that he's the strongest that there is, and they put such high faith in him, and he's the only one that can convince them to give them their energy in order to defeat them. Now, at this point in the story, Hercule's coming in clutch because he's literally the last human alive at this point, as Majin Buu killed them all, and even destroyed the planet. And it's almost like this buffoon, as Vegeta called him, is the only one that lived, and most of even our own people didn't get to live. Only Goku and Vegeta at that point, and Vegeta's technically dead. So really, the only human, the only earthling alive is Hercule. And because of his friendship with Majin Buu, he actually, I don't want to just say useful. He came in clutch. He was instrumental in saving everybody. So he gets his credit. But earlier, when Goku was asking for all the energy and all that kind of thing, and despite everybody on the planet hearing the same voice, they were ignoring him. And one of the directors said something like, why they won't believe in him? They believe in God. And of course, that kind of hit me. Is it reasonable to obey a voice when everybody is hearing it? And instead, they chose, now in any case, the people of Earth are putting their faith in the unseen, although they have evidence, as everybody hearing this voice in their head, like audibly, can hear this voice, so they know it's real. They've even kind of critiquing him about it, but they're just going about. And this is the point where I kind of say, of all the different people in anime, not the main cast, but like the common Earth people, Dragon Ball universe has got to be one of the most infuriating people in any series, because I'm critiquing because it feels like you are so stupid. Like, how much evidence do you need? But maybe it kind of gets to the human defiance, because obviously they know that this person exists, but they don't believe him. And the only evidence they accept is someone who they didn't, who they actually did know. So either way, it's evidence versus trust, and trust is akin to faith. So perhaps faith over evidence. It's not really good, but it's, if I'm trying to describe, maybe they fear, maybe these people fear me because they're the most human-like. The most human-like in anime that I've seen so far is Attack on Titan. But in this aspect, they have evidence of another place, like they're fighting on another realm, another planet that the humans can't see. The only thing they have is this voice begging them for their help. And so they have the evidence of it, but not the face, because they don't trust the voice. And it's only after they hear somebody who they do trust that because they stopped doing it, because a couple people raised a hand, and when energy was taken from them, they were okay, but they were very exhausted. So they said, oh, stop doing it, stop doing it. It's a trick. So, but they needed trust, even in someone who I gave him credit, but someone who's not trustworthy, as he lies a lot. And that's quite like Hercule's character lies a lot because he has pride, and because he wants people to keep thinking that he is the strongest. And up until he got to the Cell games, he knew that he was the strongest one that there was. And on that day, he found out he wasn't even in the top 10. So trust, again, you said my last video, I'm just putting this together. Humans needed faith, even in the very, very fallible human, or they need to trust a fallible human in order to surrender to higher purpose, that kind of thing. Because while Goku is like the better person, he has certain flaws. I'm not saying Goku is like Jesus or anything, he's like a perfect being or anything. But if you put those two together, morally he is better, and of course much more powerful, but they can't trust the more trustworthy, more powerful being, because they never met that being. But they will trust the very fallible, very prideful, very human Hercule. And maybe that's just a fault of us, that we If you kind of know what I mean, like you ever were like a super smart guy, scientist will tell you something, and even though it's way over your head, you don't believe it, but a friend could tell you something similar or bad, or like they didn't explain as well, but because they're your friend, you trust that friend, and then you'll believe maybe what the super intelligent, educated person says. It's quite interesting. Like I used to hate that scene, but now maybe I'm seeing that it is very true to how we are as people. That we just there's evidence, but there's no faith. And I give you evidence, but doesn't mean I can force faith on you. That makes sense. All right. I'm just gonna let that marinate. That's just what's on the top of my dome. You guys have a blessed day.
Cell, I'm gonna knock you out in 1 minute flat. Who is this idiot?